This is a secure area. This is a secure area.
How did I get in here then? Excuse me.
You actually have to walk this way.
Your activity here is considered a security risk and trespass.
What about my activity is considered a security risk?
This is what I'm told to read you, sir.
You're telling me policies. I'm telling you law and case law here in New York State. Do you have any information regarding beatdown squads in this facility? Do you know anything about beatdown squads in this particular facility? We are immediately greeted with our friendly reminders that the government is always watching us, even though it always seems to be an issue. When we, the people, report our government. Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Over here.
Oh, I thought.
Hello? Over here, sir?
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Can't see you. Oh, there you are. Hey, how you doing, sir?
How are you?
I'm good.
Can I help you?
No, thank you, sir. I'm okay. Thank you so much.
Do you know we're not allowed to have cell phones in here?
I'm not allowed to what?
We don't bring cell phones. We're not allowed to have cell phones in here, sir?
Oh, this is a camera, sir.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have that in here.
I'm just, like I said, I'm just taking some pictures and video. That's it, sir.
No, I understand. But we don't permit that inside of our facility.
Is that a law?
Well, this is in a New York State correctional facility, so we don't, we have to abide by the rules of this facility and under the guidelines of our department. So I'm just, informing you, that we just don't permit recording in here.
Right.
So typically what we ask you to do, just, respectfully, we ask you guys to, if you want to take pictures, we can't do anything about it outside of our facility or outside of our grounds, but we don't allow recording inside of our facility.
Right, so that's your policy you're saying, right?
Yes.
That's your policy here
I'm an
at the-
officer and, you work for the department, that is the department's policy.
Right, I don't work for the department, though.
No, I understand that. But do you...
Yeah, I'm not trying to, violate the policy or anything like that. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, one second, I'm sorry. This guy, I was just trying to explain to him that we don't allow recording in here or anything like that. He's got his phone on him. And...
Where are you going?
No, I was just taking a look around the publicly accessible areas here.
This area is not publicly accessible. The publicly accessible area, the entrance is actually that way.
How did I get in here then if it's not publicly
He actually
accessible?
let you in so that he could speak to you.
He didn't let me in.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
This door is locked. And
The door was open.
He unlocked it. The button is unlocked.
It's open.
That's what he's doing. This is a secure area.
Yeah.
So he's actually, so I can take you to the unsecure area where you can speak to somebody and do everything that you need to do.
Okay, I'll go over there, no problem. I just
This
wanted
way.
to see over here really quick.
Well,
Excuse me.
you actually have to walk this way.
I know, I just want to see over here really quick. It's a small lobby. Again, it's publicly accessible.
That's why there's gates and cages and doors.
Right, exactly. So I can't go anywhere I'm not supposed to, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why I'm going to take you to where you can go.
Right. No, I can go here. I'm here. This is, again, the door is open.
I understand what you're saying, but he unlocked the door. Huh?
It's coming out.
Really? Okay.
It's coming out, just so you know.
All right. Well, they called somebody to come and speak to you.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know that
No problem.
you actually got to head this way.
Okay, no problem. I'll wait here for them.
Okay.
No problem. So apparently somebody's coming. Storage over here, quartermaster, drying room. You can't just get into the facility from right here, right?
Yes, you can. This is the entrance to the facility.
But you could just walk in and,
There's two ways.
right.
So there's two ways to get into the facility.
Okay.
This is one.
No, but what I'm saying is like, you can't just get into where all the inmates are from here.
No.
Right,
No.
that's what I figured. Okay, gotcha. So why would somebody come here into this part of the facility to ask questions, visitor schedules, things like that?
No, that's the other area where I was going to show you.
Oh, okay, gotcha. What is this area used for?
You'll have to ask the sergeant.
I will. I'll wait for him. No problem. Let's see what's over here. Hey, how are you?
Hey man, how are you?
Good.
What's going on?
Nothing much.
What's up?
Nothing much. I don't want to get close to your secure area over there.
What's
No,
up?
nothing much. I just been working on a story regarding the Department of Corrections and what's been going on, with Robert Brooks, the individual at Midstate as well.
Okay.
So I've just been going around to different correctional facilities, especially this one in particular, because I've received some concerning news regarding treatment of certain individuals in here. So
Okay.
I would just wanted to, ask some questions. You guys are not on strike anymore?
As far as job action, can I just get your name?
Sure, my name's Sean, sir. Sure.
What is it?
Just Sean.
Sean?
Yes, sir.
What's your last name?
Just Sean.
Okay. All right. So just one thing, for you to record here and everything like that, you're supposed to get permission from the superintendent or from the commissioner of correctional facilities. Do you have permission to do that?
No, I didn't get the permission from you said the commissioner?
It's supposed to come from the commissioner for anything, any type of recording or anything like that.
Or the superintendent.
Anytime it's on state grounds.
Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't get permission from anybody, but I did look into the law. I know you guys have a policy against recording on state property, public property, but I did look into the law, and there is a law called the New York State Right to Monitor Act, and that law gives me a statutory right to record law enforcement, correctional officers, and security officers in the course of their duty. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm exercising that statutory right, as well as the First
Right
Amendment.
in this area right now, this is a secure area
How is this a secure area?
because it's actually within the correctional facility.
But this is a secure area? How did I get here then?
Came in through the front door, I take it?
Right?
Okay.
So, it's not secure.
But you're supposed to go around the visit process at that point because you are a visitor, technically,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I'm visiting. That's
So
correct.
you are visiting. So visit process center's over there.
Right. Yeah, but I was just looking to speak to people over here. Again, this is not a big area over here. I don't plan on being here all day. You said, where's the visitor center?
You're with Long Island Audit?
Yeah, where's the visitor center? Yeah, that's my publication.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, give me a hand, give me a couple minutes. Let me just make a phone call.
Sure.
All right, and we'll go from there.
All right, no problem, sir. No problem. Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
You as well.
Let's see the visitor center. Correctional officers can't detain anyone, so him telling me to wait there was just a polite request. It's not a lawful order. So as far as the emails I've been receiving regarding the treatment of certain inmates here at the Shawangunk Correctional Facility, I don't want to get into too many specifics right now. I don't want to put the inmate's life in jeopardy in any way. So this is the visitor center here. Packages over here where family members can leave their packages for inmates. Interesting. There goes the sergeant that we were speaking to last time.
So Sean,
Yeah.
the boss is gonna come up and talk.
Yeah, no problem.
So,
No problem.
as soon as he gets up here, he'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You too.
All right. Sounds good.
How's your day going? Everything good?
Everything's going great.
Alright.
Everything's going great. When did you guys get body cameras here? When were they implemented?
We've had him for a little bit.
For a
I don't
while?
know the exact date.
Gotcha. Interesting. So what's the process for visiting here?
So you have to be on the approved visit list.
Okay.
And everything like that for
Right.
incarcerated individuals. at
Right.
that point. And then once you're on the approved list and everything, then you would come in, you get your picture taken and everything, then you get you basically get a hand stamp, you have to go through the body scanner, and then you're free to go visit.
Like kind of like at the airport,
Kind of.
where they check your hand for any sort of narcotics or anything like
No,
that.
no. Like you would actually, you'd step into the body scanner and do that.
Oh, gotcha. Understood. Interesting.
That was the CarMax. That's literally also like, that one is literally made to make your lips.
So, there's been a lot of reports about, different things as far as like beatdown squads regarding, what happened with Robert Brooks. Do you have any information regarding beatdown squads in this facility? Do they exist to your knowledge, beatdown squads? Not to your knowledge?
None in the department.
None in the what?
None in the department.
In the whole department?
As far as I know.
They kind of admitted it, right? We saw it on video.
Well, I can't speak for what goes on.
I've gotten a lot of
I
just
can't speak for what goes on throughout the state. The only thing that I can speak is for what goes on.
right. No, I'm just saying that I've gotten a lot of reports about certain things taking place at this facility in particular, beatdown squads.
Nice, yeah.
There's actually people in here. So he is He is the supervisor. Looks like a lieutenant or a captain. Just want to make sure that we're recording them in the course of their duty, which is protected under the New York State Right to Monitor Act. Excuse me, sir. Hey, sir, how are you? Are you supervisor here? I said, hi, how are you? Are you a supervisor here?
Yes, sir.
Your name?
My name is Lieutenant Smith.
Lieutenant Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lieutenant Smith, what is the, is there any, I've been going around to different correctional facilities, speaking to different correctional officers. I've gotten a lot of tips about beatdown squads in these facilities. Do you know anything about beatdown squads in this particular facility, Shawangunk?
Okay, well, I'm going to have a speech that I have to read to you, so that's all I have to say for right now, sir.
You have a what?
A speech I have to read to you.
You have a speech?
There's actual thing I'm supposed to read to you for videotaping on grounds. So once I get that, I'll read that to you, and then...
Okay.
Okay?
Sure. So you don't know anything about any beatdown squads in this particular
I'll read the
facility?
speech, and then that's where we're going to start off at, okay?
I've gotten anonymous tips from, correctional officers in this particular facility, as well as family members of inmates that have reached out to me. I'm an independent journalist. My name is Sean, Lieutenant Smith,
Okay,
and I am just investigating that. So any help you could have. Did you participate in the illegal strike here when the correctional officers were striking? What about you, Sergeant? Did you participate in the illegal strike?
Once he reads his speech.
Were you aware that one of the correctional officers that murdered Robert Brooks? Sure, I'll be all right. Thank you, though. One of the correctional officers, Anthony Farina, who murdered Robert Brooks brutally on camera, they had offered him 18 years, and he said that was a ridiculous offer. Do you think 18 years flat is a appropriate sentence for murdering somebody on camera?
Like I said, once he reads the speech, then I'll speak to you.
Well, what speech? I mean...
He's got a speech that he's got to review.
He's got a speech.
Yes, sir. Trying to get it from one of my mobile patrols, and
The speech.
Yes,
Got
sir.
it. All right.
Here it comes right now. Watch yourself.
Mobile patrol.
I need the speech to read people's opinions on that.
Yeah, so I do want to get specific about, the people that are here that are allegedly being beaten and treated badly, but the whole point of me being here is to let you know that I am investigating it, and I hope that you guys do the right thing and stop the abuse. I don't want retaliation against the person in any way.
Okay, as far as Doc's, I'm supposed to read the speech to you. It says, please leave the area. New York State Police will be called if you refuse to leave the area. Videotaping or photographing prison property without the consent of the superintendent or commissioner is prohibited by DOC's policy. While members of the public who are visiting inmates are permitted to enter this lot and park their vehicles, this property is owned by the department, is considered part of a correctional facility, and falls under the authority and jurisdiction of the commissioner. Pursuant to Correction Law 112, he is empowered to exercise superintendence, management, and control over all department correctional facilities, and has promulgated the restriction against the use of videotaping and photographing by any person while present on the correctional facility parking lot. If you'd like to request permission to take photos or video, you may contact the superintendent or commissioner. This property, while publicly owned by non-public forum, which is not traditionally recognized by or designated as a forum for public communication, and is thus restricted. Your activity here is considered a security risk and trespass.
What about my activity is considered a security risk?
This is what I'm told to read you, sir.
I'm not getting any information that Google Earth can't give me. I mean, Google Street View, Google Earth. I mean, how am I security risk?
I'm told to read you, sir.
Right, you read it, but I'm asking. A follow-up question is, what am I doing that's a security risk?
Would you like to read again, or?
No, I don't want. You don't have to read it again. But I'm just saying, I'm asking a question. It's a direct question of how am I a security risk just by being here and asking questions?
That's what I've been told to read you. This is what Docs has told me to read you, so that's what I'm reading you, sir.
Right. It doesn't say anything about the Right to Monitor Act there, the New York State law that gives.
No, sir. No.
That gives New Yorkers the right
It says to
record correctional officers in the course of their duty.
New York State Police will be called if you refuse to leave the area. Videotaping and photographing prison property without the consent of the superintendent or commissioner is prohibited by DOC's policy.
But the commissioner can't
Members of
supersede the law.
Who are visiting inmates are
Respectfully.
permitted to enter this lot and park their vehicles. This property is owned by the department, is considered part of the correctional facility, and falls under the authority and jurisdiction of the commissioner pursuant to correction law section 112. He's empowered to exercise superintendent's management and control over all department correctional facilities, and he has promulgated the restriction against the use of videotaping and photographing by any person while present on the correctional facility parking lot. If you'd like to request permission to take photos or video, you may contact the superintendent or commissioner. This property, while publicly owned, is a non-public forum, which is not traditionally recognized or designated as a forum for public communication, and it is thus restricted.
See, when we're talking about forums,
Here is considered a security risk and a trespass.
and you couldn't answer that question about security risk. So trespass, we could break it down. Trespass in New York State, there's already case law.
I'm sorry.
I understand there's already case law on trespass, being you cannot trespass somebody from public while they're engaged in a constitutionally or statutorily protected activity.
Sorry, sir, there's a lot-
That is
I'm
People v. Moore, New York State Court of Appeals decision. Again, you can read that paper that somebody printed out for you like. You can't tell me how I'm a security threat. You can't tell. You have no information besides what you're reading. I don't understand how the commissioner can single-handedly violate a statutory and constitutional right just by handing you a paper he printed out. I don't see where he gets the authority to do so. You guys are part of the New York State Right to Monitor Act, and I'm engaged in that activity right now as I'm talking to you. So therefore, I mean, if you need to call state police, you could do that. You know, that's up to you. Again, I'm not a security risk. I told you my name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist. I'm working on a story. I'm asking questions about the illegal strike that you all participated in, the New York State correctional officers. I'm asking about potential abuses that is happening here in this very facility, and I'm trying to bring awareness to that. I mean, there's really not much else I can add to that. I've given you the case law. I've given you the actual law. You're telling me policies. I'm telling you law and case law here in New York State. And, you know, you can't even tell me how I'm a security threat. Again, I'm not in a secure area.
Well, this is all I have to tell you, sir.
I understand that. So I guess you have to call state police at this point, right? That's what your paper says to do.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Lieutenant. I don't understand exactly where these correctional officers think they get the authority to supersede not only the Constitution. And when he's talking about non-public forums, that's part of the First Amendment. We're also talking about statutory rights here. Oh, they locked the door. Isn't that interesting? Visitor processing. Completely locked the door. Locked me out. I mean, you could do that, I guess. You can restrict an area, but don't tell me I'm in a restricted area then. Now it's restricted. How am I going to get in? And criminal trespass in New York State requires that the property be enclosed in a manner to exclude intruders. I don't see any enclosure here to prevent intruders from walking onto public land paid for by taxpayers. See, this is enclosed in a manner designed to exclude intruders, not the public parking lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have been outside for quite some time now, probably about an hour. I wanted to stay here and wait for New York State Police to arrive, because that's what he said in his little speech that he gave, that he was calling state police. And I would love to test them to see if they honor their oath to uphold the Constitution and uphold my statutory right, the New York State Right to Monitor Act, that gives me the right to record law enforcement, correctional officers, security officers in the course of their duty. And they never even showed up. There was a correctional officer there. Yeah, they never even showed up. I've been waiting out here for an hour. They did lock us out of the publicly accessible areas. Again, the whole reason of me being here is to bring awareness that Messiah Nontweed murderers in Mid-State Correctional Facility have yet to be held accountable. They have not been held accountable at all. They are still free, just like Anthony Farina and the rest of the beatdown squad who brutally murdered Robert Brooks were free for 2 months, over 2 months, spent Christmas with their family, New Year, celebrated. I went to his residence and he was just fine. He didn't care. And his adult son blamed the murder on somebody else, even though we've seen exactly what happened. We all saw it on body camera footage. The unfortunate part is that Messiah Nontweed in Mid-State, there is no body camera footage, so that's a horrible development. We need accountability, ladies and gentlemen. And just keep in mind that these correctional officers here, they all went on strike illegally. Illegally. They're talking about me breaking Department of Correction policy and everything else. The majority of correctional officers across the state went on strike illegally to protest their working conditions. Right after 6 correctional officers were indicted on depraved murder. Just a coincidence. They went on strike to protest working conditions right as their brothers in blue were indicted on depraved murder charges. Right. And unfortunately, we have a weak government here in New York State. The governor fired some correctional officers, then brought them back, said they couldn't work for the state anymore, then took that back, gave them additional overtime, back pay. Basically, the correctional officers here, they held up the government. They held up we the people. They held up our tax dollars. They went on strike for weeks on end, illegally, broke the law, and now they are right back inside these correctional facilities, probably breaking the law again, treating people inhumanely, and murdering them. This is what takes place here, and not enough people are talking about it. That's the problem. It's a huge problem here. And the way that the governor of New York backed down against these criminals is disgusting. They got everything they wanted. What's the point of the law prohibiting them from going on strike when they do go on strike, protesting these inhumane conditions and everything else? Really, they were protesting the brothers in blue that got indicted on depraved murder charges. How do you defend that? I've been across these correctional facilities across the state, and I've asked each and every one of these correctional officers if they would condemn those actions. It's on video, and none of them would. None of them would speak up. You know, there are people that are in the beatdown squads that have reached out to me and said, hey, listen, I don't really participate. I'm just a bystander. But, you know, they're trying to catch you off camera at these facilities so they can hurt you. I don't doubt it. I confirm that was a real correctional officer, and he's telling me that these officers statewide want to, quote unquote, catch me off camera. It's insane. It's insane. But we're not intimidated by them. We never will be. Again, I tried to make this outro a lot longer to wait for state police. I like to give law enforcement officers a chance to uphold their oath that they took to defend and support the United States Constitution and our constitutional rights, and in this case, our statutory rights as well. And no law enforcement, which is a good thing, because they definitely called. It's part of their speech, but apparently the law enforcement officers didn't want to come. It's because they know that we're engaged in a constitutionally and statutorily protected activity. But don't forget these people, ladies and gentlemen. We need to continue to highlight the injustices that are taking place at correctional facilities across the state. It needs to be done for Messiah Nontweed, who was brutally murdered in Mid-State, for Robert Brooks, who was brutally murdered on body camera with his hands cuffed behind his back at Marcy, just a few hundred yards away from Mid-State, and the countless others that are being tortured. When they went on strike, ladies and gentlemen, not only was it illegal, it was inhumane. I got several reports of inmates not being able to eat properly, not being able to see the doctor, not being able to see their lawyer, their families, all because these correctional officers want to stick up for their brothers in blue who get charged. And then shame on the governor, Kathy Hochul, for not being stronger in this situation.
If I was the governor, I would have fired each and every one of them that went on strike. Listen, at the end of the day, protest working conditions. I know that, working for a correctional facility is probably not the best job in the world, but you get paid. It's a job. You get paid. You get a taxpayer funded pension. You get discounted medical. I mean, a bunch of overtime. If you don't like your job, you should quit, not just go on strike and leave other human beings to fend for themselves and feed themselves and do everything else. They have an obligation to take care of these inmates inside, regardless of what they did, regardless of their crime. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're done waiting for law enforcement here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit. Peace.